What's going on YouTube? This is Verhoof91. Wanted to give you a quick run through of my Lightsworn Chaos deck. Not really heavy on the Chaos, but a couple of cards thrown in there just to give it that extra push, be a little more competitive. Very cost efficient. I think I built it with like $45. Super cheap, competitive deck. Just a couple copies of the Lightsworn Structure deck and a little bit of Amazon searching for the rest of the cards, and boom, that was it. But without further ado, this is what we're looking at. Running one Black Luster Soldier on the way to the beginning there, for obvious reason. Two Chaos Sorcerers. One Gores. Two Tragodias. And that's just pretty much all. That's just defensive. It helps me keep something on my field if I get in a tight squeeze. Good effects there. But I am running 3 Judgment Dragons. People have fought with me on me running 3. I feel like with the ease of summoning him after having the Lightsworns in your graveyard as much as you will, it benefits you more. I mean, even if you're not using the wipe the field effect, you still got a tank for 3,000 tag points that you didn't have to use a whole lot to summon. So I think it's a lot more beneficial to have 3 tanks in my deck versus 2, 1, you know. 3 Lumina. Just helps with a little more field swarm. Gives you something else to shoot off for some XZ summons, synchros, whatever you're running. I got 2 copies of Raiden. Allows you to mill pretty much whenever you want, beginning of your turn, and then at the end of your turn, so it's 4 cards, 1 turn. Level 4 tuner, so definitely helps out there as well. Garroth, I run 2 of him. Level 4 kind of helps with those XZ summons. Has an extra monster in the field. Decent attack if you get in that position, and you can draw. Like, it just helps having some cards that don't go in your graveyard. Kind of have to have something in your hand. Running 2 Aarons, same thought process as Garroth, level 4 ease of summoning, helps with some XEs, you have something else to rank with, and, if you ever get to a chance of attacking, it kind of helps you as well, so, bonus right there. Running 2 Janes, same thought process as the last 2 cards. 2 Lilas, and you gotta have some back row defense there with your monster effects. 2 Woofs, as much as you're milling, dropping a level 4 2100 tank power tank on the field is great. Minerva, I use her more or less for the tuner aspect. Giving a little extra push to milling stuff when she gets milled out of my deck. And then if you're late game and don't have a Judgment Dragon in your hand, she works perfect. Raikou, usually, like, my main opening move with having 3 in your deck, your chances of drawing one on your first draw are great. And if you're the first turn of the game, setting that card and popping whatever monster they summon and milling 3 at the same time benefits you greatly. Just some more support cards, honest. Everything in the deck is pretty much light. So that's going to help you with extra little defensive boost. Necro Gardener, same thing. You mill so much in your graveyard anyways, so it gives you that defense when you need to. Card Trooper, the ability to just mill and to help you out there as well, is great, along with the level 3 for some XE summons that I chose for my deck build. Work out well. I'm on to spell cards now. Solar Recharge. By discarding a Lightsworn, you draw and you mill. Definitely works out. We have a couple of Lightsworn monsters that we don't necessarily need to summon. Let's toss them and give you some more stuff that you might use. Charge the Light Brigade. Being able to search your deck for a monster and mill at the same time is a bonus for this deck. 3 Mystical Space Typhoons, some back row defense there. 1 Dark Hole just to kind of refresh the field, and 2 Breakthrough Skills out of my trap cards. Only traps I use in this deck. And just because you mill so much, I don't see a point of running more than that. And that's it. That's my, my build there, other than my extra deck, which I'm going to go over real quick. Running 2 of the the Arch Lightsworns. And it just helps kind of clear the field. Super easy. Summon with the amount of stuff in the deck already. So just a card you should and need to have in your deck. Number 39, Utopia, just a defensive card. Black Ship of Corn, clear out the field some. Diamond Direwolf, same thought process there. Leviair, the Sea Dragon, if I pronounce that right. Banishing cards with the Chaos Monsters allows you to resummon them back. It's just a win-win scenario there. Put some more monsters on the field. And these last two are just pretty much here for contingency plans. Wind up Zen Mains for some defense. And then number 39, that 30 Acid Golem just for a tank. It's pretty much all he is. I mean, he's got a pretty bad effect, or side effect rather, for having him in your deck or having him on the field. But in that last moment where you kind of needed that extra push, he's there for you. Let me give you guys a couple of draw-throughs so you can kind of see how well this works. Let me get this shuffled and set up for you. So, I'm going to finish shuffling this up, kind of mix them up a little bit here. Hoping it's shuffled well. One thing that sucks about organizing your cards, looking through them, and then trying to shuffle again, it's not as consistent as the deck actually can be. Drawing duplicates that weren't necessary. So start off first hand. Solar Recharge, Aaron, Lumina, Raiden, and a Mystical Space Typhoon. That's your first 5 cards. And I usually will jump the gun and say, hey, I want to go first. That's cool with me. So I say I play Solar Recharge. I'm going to dip Aaron out. Like I said, she's not one of those important monsters, but she does help in that situation. So I'm going to discard 1, draw 2, which I pulled out yet another Aaron, and a Judgment Dragon. That's awesome. And then I'm going to send the top 2 cards of my deck to my graveyard. And there goes a Necrogardna and a Garroth. That's awesome for some defense there. Necrogardna in the graveyard. Let's put Lumino on the field. I'm going to play Mystical Space Typhoon face down. Backup plan for that back row. And then we can use Lumina's effect. And it's kind of cheap in my opinion, but it works out well. I'm going to discard Raiden for Lumina. And I'm going to resummon Raiden for Lumina. Use Raiden's effect. You can mill twice on that first little main phase there. Got nothing in my graveyard that I really wanted to get rid of. That's fine. So I'm looking at 2 of the Lightsworns in my grave. I'm going to drop those out, synchro up with Michael. Boom. In my turn, I've got 3 cards I'm milling. And there's another Raiden and a Lila. And turn 2600 attack power is hard to hit. Not too terribly worried about it. They're probably going to set on you if they're, if their deck allows them to beat your monster, then whatever. It's all good. So I got a Judgment Dragon and a Jane still left in my hand. I got some backup plans still rocking and rolling here. And there goes a Minerva. Michael's effect, you can drop out some monster on their side of the field. They have 1 monster that works. Mystical Space Typhoon for that back row. Doubt there's much you got to worry about there. I'm going to summon a Jane. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, and 4 or 5 different Lightsworns in my grave. And as we're having that Judgment Dragon, 3 of them in your deck comes into play. Right off the bat, if you were lucky enough to be able to banish the only monster they had, and if they had 1 back row with that Mystical Space Typhoon, 4,800 attack with these 2, and then 26. So I'm looking at 7,400 life point hit, which is awesome, and sets you up for your next turn. And let's say destroy Judgment Dragon, you're in a great position. You can sack off another 1,000, wipe the whole field, game. That was, 3 turns. And just that consistency. And it does, I've played this a couple of times in tournaments. I want to do another draw through and see how consistent this is. And I have been at least that lucky, or this, other decks are just taking a little bit longer, and I apparently put Michael in there. But they're taking a lot longer to set up than the builders are hoping they will go through. So let's give this another whirl. Hang on one second. I'll make sure I get this. Last little draw through real quick. Shuffling it up. And you saw We shuffled, so 1 Mystical Space Typhoon, 2 Jane, Wolf, and I feel Wolf is probably a bad draw in my hand. That's fine. We got several cards that sack them out of our hands. I'll play 1 Mystical Space Typhoon down, at least a bluff, if anything else, and a Jane up. Jane's going to allow me to mill 2. Necrogardener, beautiful in your grave. There's Garroth. I'm not really worried about it. So, they summon a monster, even if it was 1800 attack. We have that Necrogardener in the grave. It's going to save your monster, give you something on the field for your next turn. And we're looking at that Solar Recharge. I would discard Wolf. It doesn't do any much in your hand. I get to draw 2 cards that I might need and look another Solar Recharge. So I'm going to get some more draws in a second. And a Breakthrough skill. Mystical Space Typhoon's still there for contingency if they have any back row. And right off the bat, I would say another Solar Recharge. I'm going to get rid of Aaron. So I'm going to draw 2. I'm looking at Illumina. And a Raiden. Perfect. Perfect. We know how this works out. Set down a Mystical Space Typhoon and my Breakthrough skill. Cards that are going to help you out in the long run. So, Illumina, cheap way to do this. Sack out your Raiden. Summon your Raiden. Use Raiden in my mill 2. There's Honest. And another Raiden. Not worried about that. And then, let me synchro up. Here comes Michael, yet again. I'm going to banish out one of their monsters, hit him for 4,400 life points, it looks like right there. Into my turn, Michael's going to make me mill out 3. There's 2 Necrogardeners, apparently I didn't shuffle well. And there's Gores. And then Jane's going to make me put out another 2. There's a Judgment Dragon and another Lumina. That's fine, whatever. And they pull a monster effect, you're backed up. They attack you. I mean, if they swarm the field, I'm sure they're going to attack you at least once and not twice. Boom, boom, 2 Necrogardeners right there. So not a bad hand at all, not a bad move. It's flowing consistently. Next card's a Card Trooper. Not really that, beefed up on that Card Trooper. I'm going to summon him. I'm going to mill 3 cards. He gains attack up to 1900. That's fine. Mystical Space Typhoon if they have any back row. Michael, if they have a monster on the field, it's a banish. You've only lost 2,000 now after this turn. I hit him for 4,400 earlier, so I know off the bat that these 2, and then that one's going to clear out all of their life points, and that's game. So another 3-turn win more than likely, unless they have some really good defense. But the deck's going to draw out some more gems before too long. I mean, my mill out, actually, those 3 with Michael, those 2 with Jane. So there's Judgment, and then your next card's a Garroth, which works out. You get to draw some cards in your next turn. XZ summon, something else, help you clear the field. But in the long run, the deck's running consistently, super cost efficient, and it's just there. That's what you're looking for. You wanted that consistency, that cost efficiency. And there's several other builds with Lightsworns that you spend maybe $15 more, and you're going to put some more XDs in there. You can put some more Synchros in there. You're going to put some Chaos Dragons in there. Whatever floats your boat. It's going to work out well for you. But guys, I appreciate you watching. This is Verhoof91, and until next time, y'all take it easy.